Welcome back to the podcast. This is season 3, episode 5, and this week's episode is sponsored by Capture One. This week we're going to be covering the attracting of clients. It's a really simple thing to do, but no one really wants to hear about what it is you have to do. They come up with all these convoluted reasons why they can't get them, but it's pretty simple. We're going to go through that, just cut straight through it. We're going to look at modifiers and how much we've ended up spending on it. We look at cameras, we look at lenses, we look at lights. We've never spoken about modifiers, and they're perhaps the most important element of all shooting. So we're going to look at modifiers. I've done a little cost up of how much all the junk in the background cost me. And we'll talk about what's good, what's bad, all of that sort of fun stuff. We're then going to talk about running an efficient studio. And your studio, it could be something like what we have here, or it could be as simple as running from your bedroom. But there's certain things you can do to be more efficient and make life better in general. Then we're going to discuss working on set, and especially getting sign-off. Getting sign-off is key, and we're going to show you how we do that and how you can do that as well. And then finally, we're going to end on the entire process. We're talking how the shoots come about, where the creative comes from, what we get involved with, and how it differs at different levels and all that sort of good stuff. I'm joined once again with Rob here.
Howdy doody.
And we're ready to get back into it. We're on a busy weekend, aren't we? Full weekend of shooting.
It's a back-to-back weekend.
Back-to-back weekend. We're getting a podcast in early today. And then we're cracking on with studio access. We're shooting a whole load of stuff. We're doing, so you don't even know what we're doing because I've not even told you, but here's what we are doing.
Standard though.
Let me tell you what we've got in store for you today. We're doing our first ever video shoot in terms of how someone else should do their first ever video shoot. We're doing how to go from a real brief to the pricing and logistics and working everything out from an actual brief. That's going to be fun. I'm going to show everyone how to do my signature hero shot. We're going to do the full breakdown of exactly how to do it and all the quirks and the rest of it. We're going to do a super simple one light pack shot setup because that's a pretty good money maker. And then we've got a load of business stuff we're going to film. So nice. That's what you've got in store for you over the weekend.
Yeah, happy Sunday, Rob.
Yeah. What have you been up to there? What have you been doing?
A few bits. A tiny little thing I shot about a year or so ago for a 45-second trailer challenge. We showed it at the Phoenix last week. So that was nice. Equilibrium.
Nice.
So that was fun. And as you well know, I spent 4 days facing every video editor's absolute nightmare of trying to somehow coerce your Hackintosh to upgrade its operating system. Now, when I say that wasn't easy, I do mean it was not easy.
So what OS are you on today? What's your current OS?
As of today, I'm on Monterey.
You're on Monterey. What am I on?
Oh, probably Sonoma.
I don't think I've updated yet. Does it tell me here? I was looking on the computer. This is really boring for everyone in podcast world over there. Ventura.
Oh, okay. So that's just one step ahead of Monterey. That was the next one.
Do I need to update? Am I safe to update?
You are safe to update to Sonoma. Don't go on Sequoia yet, because you know my standard rule. Yeah. Do not update macOS until such point. Right, okay, because we've had these comments in the past. When I say don't update it, do the security updates. Do not do the OS update until it's at least 12 months in and it's fully mature, like at least usually 0.7 with the Mac.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we go any further, Rob, your audio sounds blown to fuck in my headphones.
But it shouldn't be. I mean, it's within levels. Maybe it's because you're a bit hot, maybe.
My volume doesn't sound high.
1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2. That's mine. 1 2 2 1 2 2.
This must be me then.
1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2.
And it's showing red on your side when you talk.
1 2 2 1 2 2.
That's hitting the end.
Right, so if I... What? Oops. 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2.
That's just headphones.
I've dropped this down. 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2.
How's that?
That's all with it.
So what else have you been up to? You've updated your Mac. You've lost a week of your life pretty much, or
yes,
your hack.
And most of my sanity along with it.
Was it seamless?
No. So whatever they changed, somewhere between Big Sur and Monterey. Now, Adobe always age out your Mac. That's Adobe's kind of thing. I'm sure that someone's getting a backhander somewhere for that. But when you've got like also DaVinci Resolve and a few other bits of software that are like, no, you need to be unleashed this. I'm like, right. Yeah. So now we're at that point. It's like DaVinci Resolve 19 I started off on the beta, and then now it's the fully mature release. They were like, oh, no, you need to be on this because the installer doesn't work on that anymore. I'm like, oh, you changed something, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've got that, what's it called, a Mac? Oh, what is it? It's a Mac.
Mac Mini?
No, an old Mac.
Oh,
I've got an iMac in there.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything anymore because no software will run on it. Have you got a plan for it?
You've always got your back.
Super.
Open Core Legacy Patcher for anyone listening that's got an old Mac.
Brilliant. If you can get that working for me, because I need that to run some
100% easy
machines for me, ideally, because it's just, there's nothing wrong with that computer. It was a great computer, and then Mac with their updates just tanked it.
I mean, I've had like 2010 iMacs running like Monterey and Ventura. So
perfect. We'll get on to that. That'll be one of our jobs to do whilst we're offloading data at some point today.
Yeah.
So, what have we been up to? When were we last in? It was a couple of weeks since we last. 2 weeks ago since we last were in, and I've been down to London, which is why I'm feeling slightly ill today. It's not a hangover. I got stuck on a train because there was a lot of train delays in London when I was heading home at night, and I was very well behaved, so I was pretty sober for me on a way home. And I was on the train. The trains were all delayed by over an hour. We got on this train, it was rammed. So I was standing in first class. So I paid like 200 quid for standing in a train. It was sweltering. There was no air conditioning. I was like sweating buckets. And then the train automatically stopped and came to a halt and everything turned off. Because some people on the train on the way into St Pancras had gone, stuff this, and fed up waiting for a platform. They'd pulled the emergency thing and walked onto the track. So every train in a 5-mile radius gets auto-stopped.
Yeah.
So we were just sat there and it was horrific. But we did have a good time in London. I met some lovely photographers. I had my photo taken by a lovely photographer, actually, which was a weird experience. I don't like that. And we went to all the usual haunts. We went to Little Italy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Bar Italia. Then we went to a couple of like members clubs afterwards, as we always do. And didn't get thrown out.
The ones with the fancy leather sofas and the wood panelling.
The ones where you have to know Pete to get in. And it was a good day of relatively non-debauchery. I even caught a bit of the sun whilst I was out there. It was so darn hot. And it was an interesting time because everybody's having an absolute panic at the moment about work. And we were there with, obviously I met a few photographers who were all having a bit of a flap. I met a few creative directors, art buyers, and all of them were having a flap. It's just flapping central at the moment. Everyone's flapping, everyone's panicking. But it was a great segue, actually. It doesn't change the fact that getting clients is still pretty darn easy. And there seems to be this huge misunderstanding as to what it is you need to get a client and what it is you need to be to get a client. And a lot of it is brought around, one by, is that my phone going off? Camera brands, and 2 by YouTubers, myself included. So with camera brands and with YouTubers, I've got an educational platform. For me, it's really easy to tell you, as we're going to do later on today, let me show you exactly how to create the technical elements of my hero shot. That's a really easy sell. For a camera brand, a lighting brand, whatever it is, let me show you what equipment can achieve a better technical whatever of this. The thing is, though, we, myself included, waste decades of our lives chasing these things, when in reality, clients only really want 1 or 2 things. One of them is they want somebody who does something which stands out. So as soon as you're just literally going, well, I know how to do a 3-point lighting setup, it's pretty pointless because so does everyone. There's no real benefit to that. There's no, I don't care. You can take a perfect, you see, go onto f-stoppers and look at photographs of bottles. You will see all these perfectly shot bottles and you will never remember who shot them because they all look the same.
Yeah, you need something that stops the doom scrollers. That's where you're at.
Yes, absolutely. You need the creativity. You need something different. You need that thing which makes you you. And that's what makes the big difference. And the second part of it is you need to not be an idiot. Not in terms of academically, but in terms of having to work with somebody. If you are a nightmare to work with, no one's going to work with you more than once. There is a photographer in the city I live in who I won't name, and he tends to go through clients every year or so because they work with him for a bit. From what I've heard, he's an absolute nightmare. His work's all right, but they don't want to work with him because he's a nightmare, so they'll go and work with someone else. And he's just in this constant rotation thing. He doesn't seem to have clicked that he might be the problem here.
Yeah.
So it sounds so stupid because it's so simple, but if you do want to get work, all you have to do is something different.
Yeah.
It's like all these companies who want to event photography is a really good example of this. I know loads of people who do a good, solid event photo. And it's like, so what? If you want your event photos to stand out as a serious event organizer, you don't want standard photos. You want something cool, something creative, something that makes people go, oh, that was one of their events.
And maybe I want to go to that.
Exactly. And also, you have to be nice to work with. Now, you can get away with being a bit of a pain in the bottom if you're amazing, but I'm talking ranking level amazing, not local good photographer. So customer service is key. Managing expectations. I mean, I did it's called a Prince 2 project management qualification years ago, like decades ago. And it was really interesting because a lot of people there didn't seem to grasp it. And the example they gave people was if someone comes in and goes, I want a blue car. And you go, cool, here's a blue car. And then they come back and go, that's not the blue I wanted. That's not the car I wanted. That's not whatever it is. And it's managing them to make sure they're getting exactly what they think they're going to get. And most photographers don't do that. So when they're going, oh, we want some event photos. Cool, yeah, I can do that for you. It's £500. Brilliant. Oh, we expected more. Oh, we thought we were going to get posed ones. Like that project management of going, okay, well, for £500, we can do this. This is the deliverables you'll get. This is what they'll look like. These will be the limitations on the day. And we'll keep you updated with that. So if we're running behind, we will have to drop one of these. The price stays the same, but we just kind of keep it fluid and work out what's going to work on the day. Commercially, we often go, if there's a really big shot list, we're like, look, there's a chance we can do that. There's a chance we're not going to be able to do it at all, though. So it depends on how these things go. If we're doing some splashes, sometimes we get it first take. Sometimes it takes 6 hours. So what we'll do is we'll keep you updated on the day. You give us a massive list and priority order. We'll do a little bit of jiggering around with the actual order of things just for efficiency, but let's be fluid with it. We're not promising we're going to get it all done. We're going to promise we'll work all day and we'll do the best we can. If you need it all done, then we can talk about cost as and when. This is what we think we can definitely get done. This is what we hope to get done. This is unrealistic, but it may happen, so keep the list there. And it's those sorts of tools of project management which just makes clients go, yeah, we'll work with them. They're just nice and easy. They're just getting the job done. Is it the same video? How's it in video world?
It's similar. I mean, a lot of, especially when you talk about sort of events and festivals and this kind of thing, because for the most part, they just said, just go make something cool, which is like the worst open-ended brief you can't go in. And you've got to spend your weekend. Like, is this cool? Is this interesting? Is it different? I mean, I shoot the highlight reels for Barefoot and have done for many years. And you got the guys doing capoeira and also, all right, that's cool because you don't get to see this kind of stuff every day. You got the bubble fairies and the yoga tents and so you're trying to, and importantly, create something that's on brand for kind of the vibe of the festival.
But it's when they turn around and go, oh, can you make that work for portrait for social media stories? And you didn't know that at the time.
No, it's usually the answer.
It's the amount of people I know who have messaged me and gone, I've done this and now they want to use it here as well. So why didn't you confirm this with them first? It's not the client's job to understand the nuances of our industry.
Yeah. And you just shoot everything wider in case you want to crop the middle out of it.
Or you do a double camera thing where you put a little camera in portrait on you get a little Sony ZV, put it on top of your big camera in portrait orientation, hit record on both at the same time. But you need to know these things and it's your job. It's your job to make sure it's seamless. It's your job to make sure the client can get what they want. It's not their job to not realize that you can't do certain things. Why would they know?
Yeah, because it's not their job to know.
Exactly. So I think they're the two big things. One is be different, especially if you do something generic. If you are an event photographer, my God, just don't take boring event photos. Do something different, offer something different. Go and work out what you can do that no one else can do. And that's not applying some rubbish preset that dates it really badly.
No, and the other thing as well is and I've been guilty of this because when I was shooting Download way back when, I've taken photos of some of the coolest bands you've ever heard of, Slash, Motley Crue, you name it. The ones I got paid for, crowd shots.
Yep.
Every time it was sold any pictures of Motley Crue? No. Any shots of the crowd? Yes. So, you tend to lean on what you get paid for.
Yeah, I think so. Good crowd shots are great, though. If you can get a really good crowd shot.
Yeah.
What's the Getty photographer called? David Burdett? Burnett. I can't remember his name. He does brilliant crowd shots. She's one of Crown Graphic. He's a great example, actually. David Burnett. Oh, I wish I could remember his name right now because it's a very good example. It will come to me. I'll try to remember, pop it in there. He shoots stuff on a Holger, Crown Graphic. Shoots for Getty. He's a great sports photographer, and his work stands out. So guess who is guaranteed a sale at every event he goes to?
David.
He might not have the really boring shot of the person winning the 100 meters, but he's probably stood at the top of the arena somewhere with a tilt shift lens out, getting some wicked shot of the finish line. He always does something different, and he's a great person to sort of aspire to be more like. So yeah, that's pretty much why you get clients. You're different and you're nice to work with. Photography is really simple. It's not a difficult thing to do well at. It's not technically difficult. It's not like painting or drawing where there's like actual dexterity.
Or learning to play guitar, for example.
Exactly.
As I've discovered and failed at miserably.
It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. So yeah, just work on those two things. And of course, I say this having a huge technical knowledge. And I think one thing I'm guilty of is downplaying how big my technical knowledge is. It's really easy for me to go, don't worry about tech, because I don't have to consider it because I know it. It's even when I'm shooting film, it's like, well, if I expose that into zone 3 there and I use this high actions developer and we do this, we do a stand development and we increase the development temperature by 1 degree, it's going to look like this. And in my head, I can do all of that, which means I don't have to spend ages thinking about tech. And that there is a certain element of you do need to know your basics.
Yeah, but that's stuff you learn on the way.
You learn it on the way. Focus on the other two things. Focus on having good customer service and focus on having something different to everybody else. That's definitely the way to go, which kind of draws us through to the next topic, which is modifiers. And this is, in my line of work, something you can really easily do to find your own little look, I suppose. I spend a lot of time hunting modifiers. We're going to go through my top secret list of cool stuff I've got and how much they cost to buy. I've got all the prices new. I bought some of these secondhand. I bought some of them new. I can't remember what. I've been, and also, this is 16 years of collecting modifiers. Don't feel that you go, oh, well, I can't do what Scott does if I don't go out and buy all of this stuff here. For most of my time as a photographer, I owned 3 soft boxes, which cost 100 quid each, which were Bowens ones, which are very good. Still got them today, still use them today. And a couple of cheap reflectors that were like £7 each.
Yeah, you do like a good reflector.
I do like a good reflector. Well, I'll put you on the spot here whilst I've got to quickly Google the price of something I forgot to add. What's your modifier selection like?
Much more limited than it used to be. Having to abandon the studio because of somebody didn't pay their rent. And that wasn't me, by the way. It was the actual landlord. I tend to stick to either strip boxes for sort of rear. For beauty stuff, I still use the 7-foot umbrella, and then the rest of the time is the Laufas. The fast, easy up, clicky thing that I discovered during lockdown.
Got one back there somewhere, haven't I?
I love that.
They're really good.
I really love that. That's my number one.
Light quality is pretty nice as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Laufas Octa. It's not an Octa, is it? Because it's got too many sides. Is it an Octa?
Ish. I mean, it's more than 8, but yeah.
But they're not expensive, are they? How much are they?
Oh God, it was like 100 quid or something.
Yeah, I say that. When I started out, 100 quid was expensive to me. It's all relative, isn't it? I was just putting the price in for the last modifier I bought, and it was £1,400.
Which one was that?
It was the Sunlight. That was expensive. I'm about to spend a lot of money on a parabolic as well. That's probably
an actual proper parabolic.
Proper one, like 6-7 grand. So, are you ready for my spending list? So the total I've spent on modifiers, and this is not total spend, this is what I spend on the modifiers I use regularly. There's loads of other stuff hidden around, stuff I've got rid of, is £28,500.
That does seem a lot.
It is a little bit. Now, I didn't spend that much. I reckon I spent 20,000 of it. I think 8,000 is probably what I saved in buying some of it used.
Does that include the hazy light?
It does include the hazy lights.
Yeah.
They get good deals on those. Now, the problem with hazy lights is you can get them really cheap. You can get one for 500 quid, but they are ragged and you can't get spares. So there's no use in buying a £500 battered hazy. As I discovered when I bought one, I was like, oh, this is useless. This is no good anymore. The hazy is great. I've got 2 hazies. A hazy light, brand new, with the stand is about 10 grand. I got it for a lot less than that. I got 2 of those.
Was it an auction that you bought that at?
No, I got it from a company that went bankrupt and they were flipping stuff cash money before the liquidators.
Fire sale.
Bit of a, yeah. Fell off the back of a lorry. Got it for a good price. It was still expensive though. The other one, I've got a spare hazy, which is deconstructed. I've got 3 hazies. There's another one at the very back corner behind that one was only like 500 quid though, so we won't count that. So I've got the hazies. They are my favorite. The big hazy I've got, now, what are the chances that the AI is going to cut to me here? But on the shot of me, there's a hazy up there. That is my favorite light for soft light stuff. Not so much because of the quality. The quality is banging, but it is so easy to maneuver. Booming a head and a softbox by yourself is not fun.
No, I mean, that lives on a big old salon stand.
Yeah.
Compared to trying to finagle, well, what do you call them?
C-stands.
C-stand, that's the word. That's a whole different animal.
I mean, I have got this brilliant other one in front of the Octobank, which is a Cambo light boom. Say light is massive. And that's on a proper crankable light stand. That was an expensive rig. So we've got the hazies. We've got soft boxes. Soft boxes are the cheapest kit I have in the studio. I've got about £800 of soft boxes. I have one £800 Octobank, which is back here, indirect. So the light shoots into it and wraps back around it again. I love that. It's very good light. We use it a lot in portrait work. I have around £1,000 of optical modifiers. So they are Fresnels, spelt Fresnel, which is how I pronounced it for years. They are Fresnels, optical snoots, nothing expensive, all cheap ones. I then have £3,000 worth of reflectors. Reflectors are those spill kills, they're sometimes called. I've got the reflectors. I have 3 different types. I have adjustables, I have P70s, and I have P65s. I love a P70. They're my favorite. They are my go-to reflector. I then have a £1,400 Sunlight, which is a black barn door set and a special bulb that replaces the traditional broncolor bulb, which has a better shape to it to create insanely hard light. The benefit of everyone's like, well, just move your light further away. As you move your light further away, as the inverse square law works, you lose the gradation and the modeling of that light quality. As you bring it closer, it becomes harder. By having it both close and hard, you get the fall off of light and the sharp shadow. It is banging. It looks like midday sun on a summer holiday. Yeah, I'm into that. I've got £2,500 worth of C-stands. I bought them nearly a decade ago. They're still going strong today. They were a brilliant purchase. I have £3,000 worth of big stands, the sort of cranky arm ones and, on wheels, roll them around. I have £500 worth of small light stands that I hate because the legs get in the way of each other. They fall over. They're cheap. They're rubbish.
Yeah, the old school ones, like the Manfrotto style.
Exactly. I've then got beauty dishes, odd shape reflectors, and soft lighters. Soft lighters are the opposite of a sunlight. They're shaped like the sun, but they're soft. And they're diffused and they're hard, rigid boxes. I've got £2,000 worth of those. That is a lot more than I realised I'd spent. So I reckon I put about 20 grand into that, and I probably saved about 8.5 on buying some of it used.
Yeah, but also, I mean, people should be aware that that's over, 16, 18 years?
Yes.
That hasn't just happened overnight.
No, exactly. Well, to be honest, most of it did. Most of it happened last year. I got a bit spendy.
Yeah, I remember how boyishly excited you were when you got the hazy. You said, Rob, I've got anything.
Yeah, I've got a hazy. I think I got that during lockdown.
Yeah.
The first one. They're brilliant though. I love that. I use it a lot. We use it a lot for our e-commerce work at the moment that we're doing. So yes, out of all of those, if I could only have a few, if I had to cut back, I would have 2 P70s and a hazy light. And that would get 90% of what I need done. Everything else is a nice to have. I would like a Satos reflector from Broncolor. They don't make them anymore. They're like impossible to find. I'd really like one of those. Broncolor have told me they may have one. They've definitely got a brand new hazy still in the factory as well. So I thought I'd give Broncolor a phone and be like, hi guys. So yeah, they're all nice modifiers. Because my work is pretty standard, almost all of my shoots are a P70 reflector on one head. And then if we're shooting for my other company, which is like e-commerce, that sort of thing, we just use a hazy light. and that's pretty much it. It's quite like there's a lot of kit and we don't use much of it most of the time. However, you'll be on a shoot and it's like, we need an optical snoot and a Fresnel for this part here, and then we need this, and this, and you start adding all these bits up, and it's like, we did use a lot of kit on this shoot. But there's never a direct correlation between how much kit did we use and how good is the shoot. If anything, I'd say it's the opposite. I'd say the more kit we use, it means the more problems we're fixing, which means the shoot's probably gone south. Once you've nailed it with one light and a couple of reflectors or flags or whatever, you know you're on for a good shoot because it's just looking good.
I mean that the film that had shown at the Phoenix last week, Equilibrium.
Yeah.
During the Q&A, most of the questions were about the lighting, and I said, "Yep, it's one cob light with a reflector with a barn door." And during the course of that shoot, I managed to melt my donuts. Things you never thought you'd say on a Saturday morning, but
no, that sounds like a euphemism. I melted my donut last night.
Yeah. So I literally melted my donut. I was like, but it was worth it.
Yeah, I'd take that. It's
I mean, you'd have been proud of me. Everything at full power, because obviously
you've got to have it on full power. It's got to be full power. I love having everything just all the way up, properly. Like, why would you not just start in full power? Is my thing.
I remember doing like wedding shoots and with me like basically like throwing like speed lights to you almost like a grenade because you'd melted another one and it just thermaled out and you're like, Rob, need another one.
Yeah, we did melt a lot of speed lights.
And these weren't cheap ones. These were like proper Canon like 580EXs and stuff.
Yeah. The what were the ones I bought that were really rubbish? Yongnuo,
yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, I believe so.
They were bad. They were really bad.
I bought so many of those and like it was working and then you don't use it for a while and then you try and turn it on, it just doesn't. It's like, oh, let's just give it a ghost then. Yeah,
and then every now and again you'd come back a week later and they'd be back on again.
The triggers were really good.
Triggers were good. It's that's something I meant to ask Broncolor actually, speaking of triggers. So because nobody realizes how kit's really made in the world and where it all gets made, apparently, I was going to ask them about their trigger that looks exactly like a Godox one, because they're quite open about these things. So I'll get onto that. And next week we've got Capture One. We're going to get to grill their tech experts as to why they're doing certain things and why they're not doing other things. So that'll be quite fun. So speaking of Capture One, though, I want to talk about the issue that I see a lot of people having, which is not with Capture One, it's with clients, and it's with sign off. So we have this whole system where we shoot into Capture One. We've got the clients in the room. Most of the time nowadays, the clients are in the room and they sign off on set. However, there is an increasing amount of clients who do not come in. There is an increasing amount of other photographers who have clients who never come in. And how do they get sign off? How are they? The people at email. I didn't know this until recently. I assumed everyone was up on this because I'm quite slow on the tech front. You should never be emailing a client for sign off in 2025. Capture One has what's called Live in the studio. So Capture One Live, it works for anybody. They do not need Capture One. Apparently you can open it on a Nintendo Switch.
Oh, that's it.
You start your Capture One Live. You see, picture the scene. I'm on set. One client's come in, but the other part of the client, because it's never one person's decision. The other party, they're at home sick, or their kid's off school sick, or they've got to be in a meeting on the other side of the country, whatever it is. You start your session, and whilst you do it, you go to the Share Online button and you start a Capture One Live. You get the link, you email it to everybody on set, and you can choose which folder they can see. Obviously, you don't want them seeing the capture folder because they'll start feeling going, whoa, what's going on here? Oh no, what are you doing that for? We don't want that. I was like, no, we're just getting set up.
Well, you're doing a lighting check, yeah.
But you can have it so that the selects, the ones that you choose, go there, or they can only get access to the final exported files. You can set up folders there for them so they can just see what they need to see, and they can rate them, they can rank them, whatever it is. They can do that. They can do it on a big screen. They can do it on their phone, whatever they need, but they can be part of the shoot. And the best part about it is, after the shoot, so if you're doing headshots, for example, you give them their link and off they go, they can still access it. You don't need to even leave Capture One open or your computer turned on. That link, and they can choose their selects on there, and then you can edit those. You don't need to be rendering files out and WeTransferring links. So everyone's like, geez, WeTransfer or Dropbox? Like, neither. We just use the Capture One Live. This way, clients are responsible. Now, there is still WhatsApp plays a big role in photo shoots because often, as you well know, the clients get distracted. So you do have to keep pestering them on WhatsApp going, hey, mate, could we just have a quick look at this? Because, you know, we're standing here whilst the ice cream melts. Could you please sign them off? Yeah. And there's none of that, oh, can we have file 278364 or whatever you want to call it on the day? It will just be, here is this. We've 5-starred it for you. Just give it a 5-star rating if you want it. 5-star it, we'll get it done for you. This way, when you come back in the next day, they've had all their meetings. Have you ever had it where a client, instead of giving you the file, I've had this so many times back in the day, you'd be like, cool, let me know which file names you want. And obviously you just copy and paste it and search it. And they send you a screenshot.
Oh, so often.
I'm like, mate, so now I've got to type these out. Thanks for that.
Yeah, and I've now got to go through all of them to find that one shot.
I said the worst I ever had was somebody had written the numbers down on a piece of paper and photographed it. I was like, you've taken the effort. Why didn't you just type it out?
Yeah, I mean, it's a standing joke that, you know, I call myself digital mechanic because I'm not analog.
Yes, quite.
I'm left-handed, like... I was out last weekend at Beardy Theory, and some guy was doing a DJ set like way after hours, and he handed me a clipboard with a pen on it. I'm like, what are you doing with that? Oh, you've got to write the thing. I was like, I'm left-handed, mate. I'm literally handicapped. I'm not good at writing things at all.
Yeah, it's not the one, is it?
No.
This gets rid of that, which is great. It makes life so much easier. And it's all in your ecosystem. They never get although it looks like they're looking at the raw files, they're just seeing a JPEG preview. They can't mess with them. They can't delete any raw files. They can't cause any carnage. It's stupidly fast. So it's all web resolution JPEGs. It's in real time. Like, as you're making an adjustment, it's just happening. And the good thing with this is it keeps clients away from you on set. We give them all these links so they're not crowded around the DIT station, which is what's behind Rob, that little trolley there for in the studio. They'll be all behind that. You can protect the session with different levels. You can give, you know, you've got like 8 people on set. It's like, yeah, I don't want all 8 of you giving feedback. Could we just have it so that these 2 people here can do the stars, everyone else can just watch and view? You can absolutely set that up nice and easy.
Yeah, it's like chain of command. Who's a decision maker, right? You get to stand at the DRT station. Exactly.
You can also put watermarks on your photographs to stop people from stealing them through this. So although you won't be getting them on your side, they will get it. Now, also, even before this was available, whenever we delivered anything that wasn't finished, we watermarked it. And this is not you've not paid us thing. This is I don't want some idiot to send the wrong file to print because it's happened. So we always write proof on the file or not for print, just so people don't make the mistake. It's not, we put it in the bottom. We don't do it to like cover the thing. We're not worried about theft here. We're worried about human error. And that's a real big thing, I think. And it's so easily done. If you're not a photographer, you've got 10 JPEGs in front of you, you send a web res one up, or you screenshot something and it accidentally ends up in the wrong folder. That can be a real pickle for somebody, and it's an expensive mistake to make. They've also got the nested folders visible now. That went live 2 weeks ago. Once you reopen your sessions in Capture One, all the new feedback, comments, tags, whatever they've left, because they can leave comments as well, which is great. So it could be, can we add this frame here into this one here? We do a lot of that. That all comes through. The link is live for 30 days. And to be honest, if they're not giving you feedback in that time, the shoot was not important.
Rock and roll.
Good. I'm a bit worried that I plugged the headphones into the wrong section.
Well, they're just backwards, that's all.
No, they're in the back here. They should be in the front, shouldn't they, in guest and host. But they're in an output section.
That's fine.
We're still getting audio through. I wonder what the difference is. Cool. Good. Super. So rules. Rules are the way to run an efficient studio. Whether it comes to emails, every Friday, I have to hit mark all as read. There's a limit to how many emails I can actually check. It's impossible for me to even read every email, let alone reply to every email. Every week, a cleaner comes in and cleans the whole studio because we have a dog in here and he likes to get muddy.
He does.
We've started going on this new walk through the countryside near the studio, and there's a trench that the farmers dug down the side of the field where all the water runs through it. So guess where Teddy does his entire dog walk?
by that, obviously.
Straight through the trench. Comes out covered in water, smothered in mud, give him a quick hose down, bring him into the studio. So we have a cleaner in every week. We do weekly backups. Every week, the offsite backup must happen. It's all these little things. And it's not just studios that this helps. It's life in general. I can never miss more than one gym session in a week. No matter what happens, even if I'm out shooting on location every day, there's 24-hour gyms, there's gyms in hotels. I can always get to a gym twice a week. If I don't go to a gym all week, that means I've broken my habit. When you break your habit, it's hard to start again. Same with my diet. Every breakfast and every lunch is the same. They're in a massive calorie deficit. It's really hard for me to do enough damage in the evening to actually put weight on. Although I did manage to build quite a...
Can't relate. I mean, God, I miss bread.
Oh, Holly's... My partner started baking sourdough. She's been gifted 2 starters from people at her yoga house.
And that lady can bake.
Yes, she was a bake-off finalist back in the day, and now she's... Just every time I come downstairs, there's just the smell of freshly baked sourdough. This sounds like the most middle class thing in the world. But yeah, sourdough bread, salted butter. That's the one. That's the whole shot. That's what you want. So yeah, I think reduce the friction to doing whatever creativity you need to do. It's harder at home than it is in a studio. If I left all this stuff out at home, I'd be in so much trouble.
You have small people at home as well. That's the thing.
Cats, dogs, people.
Yeah, you got bougie cat.
Yeah, you've got
ragdoll. Shall we say playful dog, and 3 children.
I keep getting messages about Moggy, and I can't tell whether they're like passive aggressive or not. It's like, I'm worried about your cat. I'm worried about Moggy. I'm like, well, don't worry about my cat. She's all good. Yeah. She tried to murder me yesterday.
They do.
I was walking up the stairs. She was hiding under a towel on the banister, and she just bap attacked me from underneath it whilst I was like carrying boxes, tried to trip me up, and then just meowed at me. And then she hid behind one of our kids' curtains. I put my hand through the curtains to open the window because it's hot at night, and I just got left with 2 teeth marks on my arm. So for those worrying about Moggy, she's fine. She's a dick still, but she's fine. She's living her best life. She tries to murder Holly every night by sleeping on her chest as she slowly crushes her to death. Yeah,
and Holly wakes up and thinks she's got angina.
Yeah. Yeah, Moggy's living a good life. She's all good. She doesn't come into work anymore because there's too many people in the studio. And I had this one guy working, he drove me absolutely insane. I was going, shut the door. I was just fed up of it. I was like, I'm stressing now more about this guy shutting the studio door to not let the cat out than I was like, she's staying at home.
That's what we said earlier, be easy to work with.
Yeah.
That includes not letting your Moggy out.
Yeah, don't let my cat out. Don't let the dog out. Well, the dog can go out. He's fine. He just comes back again. I'm not sure what Moggy would do. She did escape once. She's a house cat, by the way. She's a rag doll. Rag dolls do not have the intellect to survive. She'd get killed by a pigeon. So she has to stay on a little tight leash. Whereas Teddy...
the little backpack you had with the mesh as you could look out of it when you went into the supermarket and stuff.
She's come to the supermarkets with me. Yeah. She used to ride the conveyor belts. She used to love it. We got banned from one supermarket though because I let her out. She was like, you can't have cats. I was like, all right. Miserable people at Sainsbury's. There we go. Marks and Spencer's loved her. She was always welcome there. But with a dog, you can't go anywhere.
No.
Can't go anywhere with the dog where you want to get food from. It's a real shame. But he is a golden retriever.
Apart from a pub.
Yes, we can go to but we do like going to the pub together.
That's why people have dogs.
I know.
So they can say to her, I'm just going to take the dog for a walk. Yeah. 8 pints later.
Yeah. There is a pub strategically 40 minutes from my house, which is the ideal duration to walk to and from. We don't go there enough though. I always get guilty if I like loiter around on a dog walk. We go for coffee in the morning though, which is a really quick way to spend a lot of money.
But Jasmine does love his coffee as well.
Yeah, it's like, £4 a day. Could save a lot doing that.
Well, it's like these people that have like Starbucks 3 times a day. I'm like, what job have you got? You can afford that.
The thing is, if you're making good money, it's fine. But what I tend to find is the majority of people who go for Starbucks every day cannot afford it. And it's like financial death by 1,000 cuts. It's just, people's spending's insane at the moment. And I'm not sure whether it's always been like this, whether I'm more aware of how insane people's spending is. But people's spending is insane. There's a definite change in people's like, oh, it's so bad, I'm just going to blow it.
Yeah, but then there's also the fact that everything costs so much more than it used to. Like, I mean, sorry to whinge, but like, I mean, like the price of second-hand cars post-pandemic is ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Like how did that happen?
I know.
And all sorts of things. It's just crazy. You know, I mean, the thing we've got it bad in America. I mean, try buying a litre of petrol over here.
How much are you spending on fuel in a month?
I'm something in the region of about £300 a month.
Yeah, I spend 200. I only drive 8 miles a day.
Yeah, but you know, we have very different cars.
Yes.
I bought the thrifties, and also, here's a fun fact: I'm now spending most of my time on the motorway at 60 mile an hour as opposed to 70 because it's nigh on 10 miles to the gallon different.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah,
it's a shocker, but no, I'm like, do you know what?
I've been told if I turn power mode off on my Subaru that I'll get better gas mileage, but
yeah, but you don't buy a Subaru if you're looking for gas mileage.
Life's too short.
The end.
The MX-5 is pretty good. I get like about 28 miles per gallon on that.
Yeah, that's not good.
It is compared to the Subaru.
Yeah. I mean, I remember way back when I used to have a company that had a H2 Hummer.
Oh.
On a run, 8 to the gallon. Around town, not near a 4. Now, in America, you can get away with that.
Yeah,
in the UK, not so much.
Not over here, absolutely. So what we're going to end today's podcast on is how to... This is a direct copy and paste from the group. I always ask the Facebook group what they want to hear on the podcast because, you know, they take the time to engage in the group, so why not answer their questions? How a shoot for a customer is created from concept on their end to talking through potential designs and looks, performing the shoot, you know, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to go through the average advert that we shoot and how it comes about. Now, it varies, obviously, for every single one, but this is roughly how it goes. Brand has a new product they've developed. At the point of or before development, market research is conducted extensively. They do that and they make their product based on that. They then go, we want to sell this product. Let's get an ad agency involved. The ad agency comes along and they'll go, right, here's how we think we're going to advertise this. They'll pitch a couple of ideas. They'll then go, let's do some market research on which one of these adverts lands best. And they get these little groups in and they'll like test different adverts, different colors, different messages and see what resonates best with the population. Then they'll be like, right, we're going to shoot this. It's going to need a photograph for this particular advert. Not all adverts need photographs, but this one does. We need a photographer. They'll go for an art buyer and they'll say, we need a photographer to shoot this. Can you get me 10 bucks? The art buyer will go, yeah, these are 10 people who'd be good for this sort of work. They have bodies of work that look like this. I think you'd like working with them. They'll then come to the photographers, or they'll show the photographers to the client and go, like, which ones do you like? And they'll maybe pick 5. They'll then go to those 5 photographers and go, hey, we've got this brief. Are you interested? We've got a budget for it. This is the budget for the shoot. Say it's 50 grand for the day. Would you be interested? If so, could you do as a treatment based on this brief we've created? So they'll give you a brief or a deck. You'll go and do a treatment and then you'll do an estimate as well. You know the budget, but you still need to do the estimate. Yeah. Because that's how you're going to spend the money.
And for the uninitiated, how would you define a treatment?
So a treatment is a visual answer to the question of the brief. So the brief might be like, we need 3 different shots. One's a pour shot, one's a splash shot, and one's a hero shot of the bottle. And you'll be like, cool. Here is a visual answer. So they'll have a mood board and some key stuff, and you'll give a visual answer of your work, which covers that. You'll give a bit of a description on how you're going to achieve it. You'll give some options for stylists. You'll talk about the crew, the equipment, the lighting setups, the post-production house you're going to use. You'll give them all that information on a very vague level. You don't want them to be able to go and rinse and go, well, look, this person's coming a bit cheaper than them. Let's give them their none of that. You keep it simple. It's a short document, 15 pages maybe, and you deliver that with the estimate. Assuming it gets signed off, you then go into production. So it starts with pre-production, which is where you work out the logistics. You start booking everybody, start booking everything, get the studio, the crew, the set designers, get everything sorted. You get the dates in, you get the final delivery date. You give yourself a week's grace. You then work backwards from there for post-production to the production itself. It's all very meticulously planned. And with that, you have what's called a producer. So for me, Karen produces, and she'll organize all of this. And I'll have my agent who negotiates and, you know, keeps me safe on set and make sure everything's going good. That'll be Pete. And we just work our way through it. And it's really complex in how it all works. There's so many moving parts. It's definitely something we're going to cover on Studio Access. Actually, it's one of the videos we're filming later today is how to do this. So it is a big process, and people are like, well, what's the point? Like, they've already decided what the photo is going to look like. Yeah, they've decided. Sometimes it's drawn exactly how it has to be. It's like, well, why bother paying an expensive photographer? And it's because we understand the nuances. We understand if you move the shadow 2 millimeters to the left, what it's going to do. We understand how it's going to look best. It's like they're giving us the overview, and we're going, cool. I will make that look amazing. I understand so much about this particular style of imagery that I can give you something that another photographer couldn't. And that's why adverts are so well paid, because it's not, oh yes, I can take a nice photo of a can of Coke. It's, I can take a photograph of a can of Coke that is so good, and I understand your vision so well, and I can add nuances to it that nobody else would be able to do.
Yeah, where the catchlight goes doesn't block the logo, all of these little...
Well, I'd say that's the basic requirements for I think it's more than that. I think it's like the density of spritz. It's the difference in a millimeter drop on the camera. It's whether you're seeing the top of the can by 1 or 2 millimeters. It's where the roll off of spritz down the can is happening, whether it's 2 to the left, 2 to the right. It's the small, minute details. It's the fall off of shadow, not is it hard or soft fall off or fast or slow fall off. It's the exact amount of fall off which matters. It's really, it's things that nobody cares about but makes the difference.
But it also means, like, it's also known as the hero shot.
Exactly.
Because it is that. It's like, ooh.
Anybody can take a hero shot. Taking the right hero shot for the right brand, for the right campaign is very different. And it's so nuanced, And it's just, it's why you get paid the big money. Because it's nothing to do with camera settings and lighting setups and stuff like that. It's going, do you know what? When we're doing this spritz here, we need about a 3% dip in density of the spritz coming out the top of the can. It's just a little bit too much. I think if you slightly reduce it, and then you speak to the food stylist or drink stylist in this instance and go, look, how can we reduce it by like 3 to 5% in terms of how much fizz is coming out the top? We don't want a big dead note, slightly. It's just slightly too much. This reduction will make the difference. Knowing that, achieving that, and it being right is what you're paid for. It's those small and that's why you have to know your subject. It's when all these like middle-aged men go, I'm going to shoot fashion. You don't know dick about fashion. You're not going to shoot fashion.
In your sandals and socks.
Yeah. Although that is probably quite fashion. But not the way they're doing it. But it's just, you need to know these things. And it goes back to that first point of how to get clients. Be different. Be bold. Like, no one's going to book you because your work's the same as everyone else's. You're waiting for that time a brief comes in that just happens to be like your style of work.
Well, you found that now that you are in fact an agent.
Oh yeah, when I'm trying to sign photographers, we look at hundreds of books. I'm like, yeah, boring. Like, I never look at them and go, you're a bad photographer. I just go, boring. Like, it's boring. I've seen it before. It's boring. And then you find something like, oh, I've not seen that before. That we can sell. That we can make money with. But yeah, it's not so much fun when it's just all boring shots or copies or more of the same. Generic, boring, miserable stuff. But there we go. That's we're going to wrap it up here for this week, I suppose. This is probably a good point for going on a massive rant. Next week, we're going to be looking at color management for control freaks. Godox versus premium brands of lights again, because
that'll get some hate.
I feel like I've still not quite managed to explain it properly. There's rationale to it. We're going to be looking at moving into medium format cameras because I've done a bit of shopping around, and this year, if you shoot anything at the moment, which is full frame, you can afford a medium format camera, and I'm going to help you navigate your way through that so you can have a badass camera and a whole load of other stuff, working from home studios, all that good stuff. We're going to cover it all next week, so we'll see you all then. Thank you very much for stopping by.
Yeah. Stay classy, San Diego.
Yay. See you later.